September 2023, and Jordan and I, he's over here. Say hi, babe. We are in Paris, France. We are here for our honeymoon. We got married 6 months ago, and we are just finishing our first leg of this adventure. We just had basically 4 days in France, in Paris. 3 full days and then 2 half days on the bookends of it. And now we're headed to London. I haven't done any talking clips since being here because we've been very go, go, go. But I did want to go over our itinerary since I took a lot of just random clips as we were walking, so I can remember all the things we did, and then we'll give our thoughts on France. So on our first day, well, this trip started with a crazy travel day. We left at 6:10 p.m. local time in Austin, Texas, and took an overnight flight to London, which is about an 8-hour flight, and we landed at 9:30 local time. And then we immediately went to the train station, got on the Eurostar, and took the Eurostar to Paris. And then once we got here, we checked into our hotel and we headed to the Eiffel Tower. So that's the first thing we did. We checked in, headed to the Eiffel Tower just to be like, yay, we're here. And then we went and had dinner just somewhere around there. And that was pretty much our day 1. And then day 2 is when I have my phone that has our itinerary. Day 2, we went and had breakfast, and then we walked to Les Invalides, or the Hotel des Invalides, which is like the military museum. And we went in there. It was really cool. They had a lot of like World War II stuff and the French Revolution. And that was really cool. Everything was in French, so we didn't spend a lot of time at the museums we went to just because we couldn't really read what the thing said, but we got to see it all, which was cool. So we did that, and then we walked towards the Alexander III Bridge and walked towards the Musée d'Orsay. We didn't go into that museum, but we did go by. We had like a little lunch outside there, a baguette, and I think I had falafel that day. That was good, and it was rainy that day. That was the only day it really rained the full time. It rained again one other time, but this day it was very rainy, but it was actually fine. We had umbrellas and we were fine. Jordan said no umbrella, brought his rain jacket, but he did great. And then after we walked to the Musée d'Orsay, we went to the Louvre, and the Louvre was awesome. I struggled at the Louvre because I could not get my bearings of the building. I was lost the entire time. Thank God for my husband, who could get me around, because I had a list of things I wanted to see there, but I could not get myself to them. So thank God for him, and we got to see all the things we wanted to. But this time, my legs were pretty hurting. I was wearing my Converse, so we decided to have wine and cheese at a local cafe just outside so we could take a break. And we had our wine and cheese, and it was really good. They had mincemeat, which was the first time I ever had that. Pretty good. And then we walked by the Petit Palace and the Grand Palace. They were both closed, under construction. The Olympics is going to be here in 2024, so a lot of the big monuments, they're kind of upgrading them, so they look really nice when the Olympics is here. But we still got to see the outsides of the buildings, and they're really cool. And then after that, we walked to the Arc de Triomphe, and because we didn't get to go into the Grand Palace, we decided to go up the Arc de Triomphe and see Paris from up there, which was totally worth it. It was awesome, and it wasn't raining by that point, so it was the perfect time, golden hour, to go up there and see. But we had to walk up a lot of steps, a lot of spiral staircases, but totally worth it. It was awesome. Then we had dinner, and we walked back to the Eiffel Tower, past the Flame of Liberty, to see the Eiffel Tower like sparkle at night, because it sparkles on the top of every hour. So we waited till 10 to watch it sparkle, and then that was the end of day 1. We made it. We're really close. Here's Bay with the Eiffel Tower. Lift your hand up again. Not even close.
It's big, huh?
It's big, huh? Here, both of us. Us? Oh, it's, you can't even see it. Wow. All right, cheers. First wine. Oh, right. Delightful.
Smells good.
Yeah? Give us the full review. Yay! And we're obviously Pokemon going in Paris. This is where we just had dinner for our first night in Paris, right next to the lit up tower. We're not going to stay up late enough for it to sparkle, but tomorrow we'll see. These are all cannons. And right up there is a statue of Napoleon. I'm going to zoom in. There he is. Looking good. It is raining, if you can tell. Alright, this was the entrance, and then we walked through here. Up there, the dome's that little place at the end. Alright, we made it to the Alexander III Bridge. I'm so sorry. Okay. This is the River Seine. That's the Grand Palace, I think, and the Petit Palace. We're gonna head that way to the Musée d'Orsay. And yeah, this is the traffic situation.
This is what I'm enjoying.
And Jordan's enjoying the traffic situation. And that's the Eiffel Tower. And that's the Invaldez, where we just were. We just walked down this thing. The siren's gonna be going. Glamour, right, babe? Glamour. All right, I got the falafel, and Jordan got the first baguette. Hell yeah.
First one.
Get into it. Hell yeah. Right, we made it to the Louvre.
A lot of people, huh?
A lot of people. We're not going on that side.
We're staying a while.
Can't even get how big this painting is. There's two. The sun has finally decided to grace us with its presence. We're at the Jardín Trelos. The Louvre is there. The Eiffel Tower is over there. We're gonna walk it. Enjoy the sunshine. Alright, we're headed to the Grand Palace, which is behind all these trees. They're so pretty, it looks folly. They got the Rugby World Cup going on, so we couldn't walk through that square. But it makes the streets feel super empty. And there's the Alexander III Bridge from the clip earlier where there was a lot of honking and everything. That was over there. And now we're here. Alright, that's the Petit Palace. It's closed. But it's cute. Here's the Grand Palace. Also closed. This is our best look of the Grand Palace. Might be better from the other side, but we're gonna head in this direction to find the Arc de Triomphe. We go to the top of the Arc de Triomphe. We made it to the top. We were way up there.
There's another level. See that? There's like another level.
There was like two.
There was a lot of steps.
All right, Jordan's having his first Paris beer.
Paris beer, yeah. This is a Brooklyn IPA. Very good.
Cheers. And I got an Aperol Spritz. He brought the Spritz and then he poured the Aperol in. And water. Yay! Waiting for it to sparkle. What's gonna happen in the next 10 minutes? We're ready. Oh no, it's starting. Now day 2, we took the subway. We did all the walking on day 1. It was 40,000 steps. I did it all in Converse. That was my bad. So day 2, we started off at the Galeries Lafayette so I could get some shoes, which I did. I got some Hokas, so I've been feeling better since then. But we did that first, walked the gallery, and then went up to their rooftop. They had a really cool view as well. Did our shopping, and then we had a reservation at the Palais Garnier, or the Opera House, and that was gorgeous. That was so beautiful. The line to get in was bonkers. No real signage to help people, but we eventually got in, and once we did, it was totally worth it. We got to go into the actual opera house and see the stage, and then it was just really gorgeous. So that was really cool. And then we took the subway to Sacré-Cœur Cathedral in the Montmartre area, and we got off at the wrong station because we had to walk up again a million more steps to get up there. But it was gorgeous when we got up there, and then that is where like the big fence is that you can put your lock on for like locking your love. So I had brought a lock and I had written our name and our wedding date on it, so we were able to put that on there. I think I recorded that, so you saw that, and that was really special. And then we kind of walked around Montmartre. It's this like cutesy little area, and walked around there. We went to our first like brewery, which I thought was a brewery, but it ended up being a tap house. Still very cool. So we did that, had some French beers, and then we had a dinner reservation at the Moulin de la Galette, something. It was a windmill restaurant, very cool. And that's when we had like our escargot and our frog legs, and I had risotto, and Jordan had duck, and that was a nice meal. And then after that, we walked to the Moulin Rouge, which was amazing for me. I loved it. And they actually have a bar on the roof of the Moulin Rouge, which I don't think a lot of people know about. So even though we didn't have tickets to the show, we were able to like go around the side of the building and head up to the bar. And so we ended up having a few drinks there. We listened to my favorite songs on Jordan's new headphones and just like really enjoyed the vibe at night there. And I loved it. And that was basically the end of day 2. We're at the Galeries Lafayette Women's Mall, we've learned. There's the opera we're going to tour after this. And I got new walking shoes, my Hokas, because my feet were dying. Don't say it. Alright, what do you call them?
Hoka shoes.
Hoka shoes. They're nice and white.
H-O-K-A. I call them Hoka shoes.
We're at the terrace. We made it in the opera house. so we're at the Basilis Sacré Coeur. He's holding it up for me. Here, just show it. We walked up all the stairs to get here. And we're at the lock. And we're gonna record it so we remember where we put the lock. So. Where do you think? Right here? Get in on it. Jordan and Jordan, our wedding date. One-time lock. It's on there. Yay! I love it. Alright. We're in Montmartre. He's a good boy. We walked all the way up there, and we walked all the way down here. I did. This is where we're having dinner today. This is a windmill. I'll get a better view. Husband. I've made it the whole reason we're here.
The French are glad to die for love.
Struggled a little bit to sleep that night. But that's kind of the only night that we really had that issue. Haven't really had any trouble adjusting to the time since that first day we kind of just stayed up the whole day. Our last full day yesterday, we started at the Luxembourg Gardens, got breakfast and coffee on the way. The gardens were gorgeous. It's this old gardens that's attached to this old palace, and obviously the palace is closed now. So the gardens are open to the public, and it was gorgeous. There's little like fountain that people were renting boats, and like, not like boats you sit in, like RC boats. And so we looked at that, and there was a bunch of people in the park doing Tai Chi, and then we saw this group of 4 people standing in a diamond formation, just staring out into the abyss. So that was unique. And after we explored the gardens, we walked to the Pantheon. We didn't go inside that one, but it was a really cool square, and it's right next to like the marriage building, because in France you have to like go to the courthouse and get married before you can get married, which you like kind of do it in America. You get your marriage license, but the license doesn't become active till your wedding day. But in France, like, they're 2 separate days. So there were people getting married. Really cool. Then we walked to Shakespeare and Company, which was awesome for me. There wasn't a long line to get in, which I was very excited about. And I bought 2 books and a bag. And you're not allowed to take any photos in there. And I don't think you're supposed to take videos, but I did sneak a little video on my phone. So I have that for me. And it was really cool. And then after that, we walked and grabbed some beers because we were waiting for our reservation at the Sainte Chapelle at 2. So after our beers, we went to the Sainte Chapelle, and that was really cool. It's just like this big stained glass window room. It was breathtaking, gorgeous, loved it. And then after that, we went into, or we didn't go into, we walked by the Notre Dame. It's closed ever since it caught on fire. But they had these steps outside, and you can sit and look at it, and there was a man there playing the guitar and singing. So that was really nice, and we just kind of sat there and enjoyed. No rain this day. And then after that, we went into souvenir mode, and we walked along the Seine River, and they have a lot of like art stalls there, and we bought some art through them, and we got his mom a postcard, and did a little bit of shopping, and then after that I was starving because we hadn't really had any food yet that day. We've been eating a lot, so that was okay, but then I was really hungry and I really wanted pasta. So we went to this like shopping area. In that area, I don't know what it's called because we were kind of just walking off the cuff at that point. Yeah, I don't have that place written down, but this little shopping area we went to and we had dinner. I had pasta. Jordan had steak frites. He had that multiple times because it's like the classic here. And that was a really good meal, but then I was super tired after. So did a little bit more shopping, but then headed back to the hotel and kind of did some like chill hour. It's the Rugby World Cup going on right now, and it's in Paris, hosted in Paris. So all day when we were walking around, there was people who were cheering for Ireland. And at one of the places we went to get beers, we sat next to some people rooting for Ireland, and they were like, "Are you gonna root for Ireland?" And I said, "Of course we are." And that game was happening at 9. So I had high hopes to go out and watch the game at 9, but then I found my bed and that didn't occur. So we went out at 8 just to get like pizza and wine across the street, and then came back to hotel, and we did watch the rugby game in our hotel, and Ireland did win. We also went to the grocery store just to see if they had any fun things. Jordan was looking for macarons, but they didn't have any, but they did have very interesting flavored chips, like meat flavored chips. I got ham and chicken and cheese. And honestly, the ham ones were the best. Not gonna lie. And that was pretty much our third and final day yesterday. Little carousel. You can have lunch in the park, breakfast in the park. Alright, we're gonna head that way now. Oh, these little horses for these little kids to ride through the park. Are you kidding? How cute! People are renting these little boats. This is the palace that this gardens was attached to. There's fish. It goes all the way that way. Gorgeous day. Sorry guys, I don't have anything. Alright, this is the Pantheon. We made it. We're gonna try and get closer. A wedding. Wow. This is quite the square. Triangle. This is the concierge building. Palais de Justice. We're headed to the church. Is right there. Saint Chapelle. That's us. All right. We made it. We're headed inside.
Where are we at?
Saint Chapelle. All right, we just left the chapel and now we're at Notre Dame. No one can go in since it caught on fire, but it's still gorge. We're gonna sit on these steps and just admire. And then this morning we just woke up, we went and had breakfast. We actually sat down to have breakfast. Every other time we've had breakfast, we've just like gotten coffee and a croissant or a little quiche or something. But today we went and sat down and Jordan had French toast and I had eggs Benedict and it was lovely. Best coffee so far. Got an iced latte, it was really good. And then we walked to the Eiffel Tower just one more time to kind of cap off the trip. We started there, ended there. We finally got the Pokemon that we've been hunting for. There's a region exclusive Pokemon here that we've been looking for and hadn't got it this whole time, but just happened to be at the Eiffel Tower when we went this morning. So that was a bonus. And now we're back at the hotel. We just packed everything up. We have a train back to England in a few hours. So we're gonna head over to the train station here shortly and start our London leg. You think these stairs are creepy? The elevator is worse. So we use the stairs every time. And this was us in the corner. I really enjoyed Paris. I'm the one that has always wanted to go here for my honeymoon, and it definitely exceeded my expectations. I didn't really know what to expect, but it was definitely romantic. It was definitely slower paced, and all the food was good. Didn't have any trouble really speaking the language. We could always figure it out. There were definitely places where people didn't speak English, but we were kind of able to just figure it out. So that was nice. We've been using the metro. It's been super easy. We did get separated one day on the metro because the doors will just close. So I got on and then the doors closed and Jordan was on the other side and he tried to open it and he couldn't. So we caught up with each other, but that kind of happens. But I got the app for the metro and that helped us tremendously. So getting around was no problem. Like I said, we did a lot of walking. Walking the streets is really cool. The buildings are old and cool. I would honestly come back. I would come back to France, come back to Paris. I know there are things we didn't do. And even when food is concerned, I feel like there's so many cafes along everywhere that you don't have to do a lot of research to find a place unless you want something really specific. But like, I had no problem getting French onion soup, getting a croissant, getting any really French thing that I thought of that I wanted, we were able to get. So no problem at all. Let's see what Jordan thinks, babe. Tell me your Paris thoughts, feelings, 4 days post.
It's a very walkable city, so I enjoy that. Enjoy that streets are well lit, that people are just out walking about. It was very crowded at this point in time, and I don't know if that's just because of the World Cup, the Rugby World Cup going on, or what. But we walked out this morning, and I mean, there's nobody out on the street. So I just think that, like the Monday through Friday, and then the weekend shopping, like this place is just packed with people. But it's honestly not too bad to get around, you know, using the subway and the metro. A lot of good food. So again, like Jordan said, you don't really have to. I don't feel like you really have to find something unless you want something specific. You don't really have to look up restaurants. You can kind of just pick a cafe. They're all lining the streets. You just sit out on the street and get a cafe. And then, yeah, all the locations are really cool. So, yeah, good time.
And the one thing Jordan kept saying was, it's very well lit. Like, you can walk around at night. The streets are well lit. Everyone's on a bike. It's very cool. So this was our room. We had 2 single beds, but they were like put next to each other. So it's like one bed, but you get your own sheets, which is cool. And it was really just a little small room, but it did everything we needed it to. It had this really cool window. I don't remember if I got this when we came in, but that's where we had our pizza last night. And these are the Paris streets. So this was the window. There was this little desk. That's where I was just recording. Manu Hoka's doing the absolute most. We had this that we never used. There was the door. You walk in, and then there's a little bathroom with the light on the outside. And the shower, I loved it. I showered every day. It was awesome. I loved it. And just a little bathroom. This is what the toilets look like here, which are interesting. They're like, different than America, but they all worked. Little button, big button. And yeah, now we're headed to London. Woohoo. Oh, and this painting was crooked the whole time. We tried to fix it multiple times. Didn't work. So we just decided it was the je ne sais quoi of this room was the tilted elephant painting. All right, see you in London.